Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yeni Andira Purba from English Literature, University of Sumatra Utara. We got an assignment to make cognitive stylistics from literary works, so in this change, I tried to fulfill the task titled Cognitive Stylistic. The literary work that I'm gonna analyze is a novel from Frances Hodgson Burnett, and the title is A Little Princess. So, let's start it. Before I begin the discussion, let me introduce earlier about the literary work that I analyze. The literary work that I analyze is about a novel. A novel is usually a reflection for the life of society at the time the novel was published, through the study of personality based on the main character of a novel. The specific information of a character's nature and behavior in a storyline could be extracted further. Personality research, which is based on the main character of a novel, regularly tends to appear with psychological effect. This research was conducted to fulfill two purposes. The first particular purpose of this research was to describe and express the main character's personality in A Little Princess, a work by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And the second purpose was to describe and define the function of the relationship between the other figures on the development of the main character lives in the novel A Little Princess. Next, we continue about the author. Frances Eliza Hodgson Burnett, 24 November 1849 until 29 October 1924, was a British-born American novelist and playwright. She is best known for the three children's novels Little Lord Fauntleroy, published in 1885 until 1886, A Little Princess, 1905, and The Secret Garden, 1911. The novel is a picture of life and its real behavior occurred at the time when the novel was made. Romance by using great language and an insult, describing what is not happened and would never be possible. One example of a novel is A Little Princess, written by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Next, we continue about aim and research question. This research is divided into two main sections. The theoretical background section that discusses two main aspects. The first part outlines cognitive stylistics as an academic discipline in the field of linguistics, with a special focus on schema theory and conceptual metaphor theory. The second part discusses figures of speech as strategies for creativity and novelty in the use of language. Then, a detailed cognitive style analysis is offered to cover two patterns of creativity and novelty in A Little Princess. First, coherence between speech figures. Second, expanded and complex figurative pictures. Next, we continue about theoretical background. 1. Cognitive stylistic. Attention focuses on a yet further development in stylistics, which has had a profound impact on the direction the discipline has taken in the 21st century. 2. Schema theory and conceptual metaphor theory. In cognitive linguistics, conceptual metaphor or cognitive metaphor refers to the understanding of one idea or conceptual domain in terms of another. An example of this is the understanding of quantity in terms of directionality. Example, the price of peace is rising, or the understanding of time in terms of money. Example, I spent time at work today. 3. Figurative figures as features of creativity and novelty in language use. Figurative language is one of the most common expressions of creative behavior in everyday life. However, the cognitive mechanisms behind figures of speech, such as metaphors, remain largely unexplained. Now we come to the analysis and discussion. 1. A general overview. It's about the summary of the novel. I don't talk about the summary on these presentations. You can read the summary on another link. I just talk about the synopsis. The synopsis is about Sara leaves for a boarding school in London. Sara doesn't want to leave her home in India, but a father tells her that she must be brave in London. When she arrives at the boarding school, Miss Minchin is impressed with Sara's wealth. Sara lives a pampered life until word comes that her father has died. She can no longer afford to pay for school, so Miss Minchin sends Sara to live with the young maid, Becky. Sara and Becky sleep in the attic, eat scraps, and spend their free time telling each other fanciful stories. 3. Serious or simile. Here we are, Sara, said Captain Crewe, trying to make his voice sound as cheerful as possible. The pair was waiting for Miss Minchin as the little girl sat down in one of the stiff mahogany chairs. She cast a quick look about her. "I don't like it, Papa," she said, "but then I dare say soldiers, even brave ones, don't really like going into battle." Captain Crewe laughed outright at this. She had been always so solemn. What was more, he didn't even know if there was a person as solemn as Sara. Unless blackness or metaphor. Sara was thinking of what a queer thing it was that at one time one was in India in the blazing sun, and then in the middle of the ocean, and then driving in a strange vehicle through strange streets, where the days was as dark as the night. England seemed to be colorless and unwelcoming, so she moved closer to her father. It was the place she had heard about so much. It would be her new home, regardless of her wish to stay with the father. Next, we continue to the patterns of creativity and novelty in A Little Princess. This section focuses on 3 patterns of language variation that Hodgson indirectly employs in his work to illustrate the new metaphorical and conceptual image schemes displayed by novelty and creativity in language use. So guys, and the last part in the presentation is conclusion. A Little Princess offers many new image schemes, new conceptual metaphors, and new types of mapping between source and target domains. Hodgson has achieved these techniques by 1. Using a coherent strategy among speech figures, 2. Using some expanded and complex figurative expressions that lead to creating new figurative frameworks that illustrate new ideas and creativity that will easily known and understood by readers in the language used in this novel.